Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be trying out Terraria Mod of Redemption. Wait, what's that? Oh, what? Oh, poop.
Terraria's Mod of Redemption is a huge and ambitious content mod, packed with so many cool new bosses, weapons, and enemies. We got robots, more robots, a ball made of radiated fecal matter, even more robots, actual gods, and a whole array of chickens, and our goal is to beat all of them. This mod also reworks the entire game by adding new mechanics, such as assigning every single enemy and weapon new elements and weaknesses. This forces your 5 brain cells to work together and actually think about how you play now, instead of just spamming a weapon and melting everything. Plus, it also introduces an alignment system, which makes it so that your actions actually have consequences, and this is only some of the changes the mod adds. For this playthrough, we're gonna go with melee as our main class and mage as our subclass, and we're gonna do this in a master mode world. Yeah, that's right, I'm a big boy. I didn't think master mode was gonna be a huge issue because not only is this my second attempt, but also because I'm literally doing a playthrough right now where I try beating one of Terraria's hardest mods using a copper short sword. So I thought, how bad can it be? It was really bad. This is gonna be an extremely long video covering this mod in detail. So get your thinking caps on and grab a whole meal and something to drink. And without further ado, get ready to listen to my tales of sorrow and misfortune as we dive deep into this absolutely insane mod. We spawn in, get blinded by the lights, and then chop down some trees. Using the wood, I made insta houses to quickly set up housing for now. Yes, I'm that lazy, and yes, we're gonna cheat a lot. Use a lot of quality of life mods. After that, we go down this cave right next to spawn. In there, I didn't find anything too crazy, just some ores and also Hermes boots. At this point, I had forgotten about the fact that I had master mode on, and was quickly reminded.
God damn it.
To calm down, I made one more house and headed to the right.
See his kick.
Why is there just a huge cliff there? So I tried going to the left. I crossed the desert and landed straight into a crimson biome. There, you can probably guess what happened.
I love master mode!
I did find climbing claws though, so now I could do this. Finally. Progression. At the base of the cliff, I found this thorn, which dealt damage when I touched it. Breaking that thorn ended up giving me a boss spawner. One thing I will say about this playthrough, which the creator of the mod themselves actually told me, was that this mod is made in a way so you find pretty much everything naturally as you progress, so you don't need to be checking the wiki every minute.
So I'm gonna have to finish this playthrough. I'm gonna end my life. I just got one shot.
Since I'm just a weak little bean right now, I kept going down the cave, but the pain just kept coming.
Oh yeah, I also have this mod on that makes it so boulders are invisible. I don't know why I turned it on, but I'm kind of stupid, in case you haven't realized that already.
Yeah, we're gonna see that in action soon. This time in the cave, I was able to peacefully mine for a whole 15 seconds before die. Even though Mod of Redemption adds a lot of new enemies you can find, so far I hadn't really encountered any because I just kept dying to the stupidest shit. But then, while I was getting some stone for a furnace, I saw our first Mod of Redemption enemy, which just spontaneously combusted.
What the hell was that?
It dropped a material called Moonflare Fragment, which can be used to make some vanity stuff, as well as a bow and a summon. Anyways, on this mining trip, I was finally able to get a good amount of ore. I made a sapphire hook to get some movement going, and also converted all my ore into bars, using which I made a gold pickaxe, tin chestplate, tin greaves, and an iron chestplate. But then while I was looking through crafting recipes, I got this message. On the map, I saw a question mark far off in the distance. So I started making my way towards the portal, and on my way, I found our second Mod of Redemption enemy.
What is that?
This was a little thing, a living bloom, which is a peaceful creature that doesn't hurt the player.
Nightshade. I got some nightshade though. I can make some potions using it, and I just died.
When I finally reached the jungle, I took a whole 2 steps in before getting tag teamed.
Ah, what is this? Hello?
This is a buff slime added by Cold Colossal's mod, and I'm not joking when I say this. I didn't see it at all, and it genuinely scared me so bad. Well, after that, I died, and died again. So once again, back to the mines. My goal right now was to look for life crystals, but as luck would have it, I didn't find any. But I did hear a sound and started seeing glowing eyes in the dark. I made my way over to the dark and...
Where did that come from? I was at max health!
After another mining expedition that ended with me being disrespected by this skeleton, I returned home to make some more insta houses. and a ruby staff, but that didn't make my skill issue any better. I also ran into the zombie and ended up decapitating it. So decapitation is a new feature added by the mod, and it's an insta-kill that only works for humanoid enemies. Certain enemies will also drop their heads. For example, skeletons will drop skeleton heads, medusas will drop medusa heads, and so on. Also, weapons with a slash bonus have a 0.5% chance to decapitate on each hit, and weapons with an X bonus have a 1.25% chance. Thanks for the great explanation, Bijou. No problem, Bijou. I definitely didn't steal it from this guy. Then in a water chest, I found a gilded sea emblem, which makes it so that your water elemental weapons have a chance to soak enemies, and the soaked enemies get slowed and are prone to ice damage, and your water elemental damage and fire elemental damage and your fire elemental damage and you have a chance to electrify robotic targets. Now if everything I just said went over your head, well, let me now explain what all the elemental stuff means. I mentioned this in the intro, but the Mod of Redemption adds 18 elements. Arcane, fire, water, ice, earth, wind, thunder, holy, shadow, nature, poison, blood, psychic, celestial, explosive, slash, axe, hammer? And those elements are assigned to weapons and enemies. Some elements are weaker to others and some are stronger. Honestly, a great comparison would be like Pokemon. The only reason this is kind of insane is because they apply these elements to every single enemy and weapon in the game. Here's the chart I nabbed from the wiki to kind of give you an idea of what elements are. No, why'd I fall down? I was just observing. Let me out. I made some almost complete silver armor, got myself a magic hat from a traveling merchant, which was great since I was going mainly magic and melee. Now with new drip acquired and confidence soaring, I felt like I could take on the world. Get out of here, cave bad, you're about to get shit on. Bijou style. Get shit on. Bijou style. That guy just got shit on. Bijou style. I'm gonna avoid that. I've already died to that guy like 30 times. Was that an invisible boulder? I believed that now I could reach the portal, but on the way I saw this new cave, got distracted, and ended up exploring that. Sometimes when I killed enemies, they would release these souls, which I couldn't really do anything to right now. To be fair, I didn't really have too much time to interact with them, cause Dum Dum Poo Poo Head over here didn't check this chest for traps. I completed my silver armor and also went looking for fallen stars so I can increase my mana. But I ran into all these new skeleton enemies. Oh man, I'm gonna have a really bad time. Why am I doing no damage? Why am I doing no damage? Ah! Oh my god, do you see that swing? It's taking no damage! Why isn't it taking any damage? Ah! So yeah, the mod adds multiple types of skeleton enemies. We got skeletons with shields, and some wielding spears, some holy, some stealthy, and some bringing tears. We got duelists who clash, some move with a dash, some have a trumpet, and they make you wish you were a Muppet? Once it was morning, I actually reached the jungle, and instead of going to the portal, which is right there, it's right there! I decided to go down into the underground. Why? I don't know what I was thinking. You actual dumbass, go to the portal! You can find good items! Alright, gang. Now... Ah! Shit! Ah! You deserve that, stupid. On the way to the jungle, I found the wise mystical tree just chilling here. I didn't really want any of the weapons or items he sold, so we just move on. And that didn't last long. God damn, you bastard ass flying enemies. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I hate you. I have no movement. No vertical movement. No vertical movement. I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, I was really going through it at this point. This was quite possibly the worst start I've ever had to a playthrough. I've barely encountered anything from the mod yet. I was genuinely considering restarting in a new world, but even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. The fact that I haven't found a Splunker potion after opening that many chests and like that shit is crazy. Not a single... I'm losing my mind right now. So yeah, I had a Splunker, Shine, Mining, and Hunter potions this whole time. But hey, better late than never, am I right? Calamity, and find them Calamity. Not do it and legendary, get further ahead. Now we go mining again because I really needed better gear. Once again, mainly aiming for life crystals. On everybody's soul but mine, this will have a cloud in a bottle. Oh! And a suspicious looking guy! While mining, I was actually able to find a good amount of gold and enough life crystals to get my health up to 180. And with that, I believed I was ready to take on the first boss. I made a gold crown and headed to the Crimson to craft the slime crown. I also decided to see if I could perchance find a life crystal. And yeah, I found one! So with 200 health, I was ready. But before that, arena. Once the arena was ready, I spawned in King Slime. The fight was honestly really easy. Nothing much to say about this one. I've done this fight enough times that I was able to take it down without much complications. The only problem was that my damage output was incredibly low, and it took me an insanely long time before I was able to beat King Slime. From King Slime, I didn't get any Mod of Redemption items, but what I did get was a Shadow Diamond, which you can use as a substitute for diamonds in the magic storage recipe, so I started working on that. But turns out, you need 2 diamonds. Oh. Instead, I bought a bunch of grenades and placed some torches down before I spawned in the eye.
Hopefully this goes well.
The fight was going pretty normal, other than the fact that it hits like a tank. But I was able to easily use grenades to get it down to phase 2. And once again, it was going well. Too well. Something was bound to happen. I blew myself up in my own grenade. While I was working on illuminating the arena, I got this message. We're just gonna ignore that for now. When it was morning, I spawned in Thorn, using the spawner we found earlier.
Oh, it's dropping shit. I'm stuck. Oh my god, I'm not beating this guy.
Ooh, Darren is a stationary boss who moves around by teleporting. Its attacks included spawning seeds above you, which later spawn into these traps that slow you down and hurt you when you touch them. An attack where it just splurges out thorns, and this weird tentacle attack. It also teleports and shotguns out a lot of stingers. It's a pretty basic boss right now, but I did see that in the next update, it's gonna be completely reworked. On attempt 1, I was able to get it down to 50%, where it started its second phase.
Okay, now it has a shield around it, and I'm assuming it's gonna shoot more projectiles. Yup, I just took fall damage like a dumbass. I can't hit it. I'm gonna die. I'm not winning. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Oh no, I still have the spawner. I can do infinite tries.
Attempt 2 was horrendous.
I just got hit by my own grenade. I forgot that it does damage to you. That was embarrassing.
My chat took pity on me and told me that I should go to the portal because I can get a good weapon. So this time, I put my all in and was finally able to reach the portal. Getting close to it caused this dude called Darren to hop out, and he was traveling with his friend Zephos, who seems to have gone lost on the way here. He then returned to look for his friend, but he heavily alluded that I should make housing and he'll move in. Before he skedaddled though, he dropped us a chalice fragment that points to an ancient structure when held. Following that, I ended up finding the structure, but the invisible boulder strikes again. At home, I had a graveyard event going on, and it was just skeletons spawning over and over, making life absolute hell. The skeletons were dropping gravesteel shards, a new material that can be turned into gravesteel ingots, a new mod of redemption currency called ancient dorals, and once again these souls. I also got these common guard greaves, which is a part of an armor set we're gonna make later on. During the event, I figured out that you can use a magic weapon to take out these lost souls and get a material called Lost Soul. But that was super hard because I kept dying. After completing the event, I didn't really get anything. So I just made my way over to the Hall of Heroes. There I got a ton of dorals, and after reaching this glowing item, I got a cursed gem. I realized that it was a material, and I could actually combine it with the chalice fragments to craft a chalice of alignment. Chalice of alignment? More like Yabatron Supreme. The best way I can summarize a chalice is a Jiminy Cricket. It judges you based on your actions and can align you with a positive or negative alignment. Different alignments will have different routes and weapons, and bosses will treat you differently. The path you choose is up to you. Well, it says that, but in this version of the mod, whether you're good or bad doesn't change too much. It does change some important stuff, as you'll see later, but once again, apparently in the next update, this is gonna be really important to your experience. Next to the hall, I found a chest containing a soul bubble accessory, which makes you release a small blast every now and then. That makes enemies caught in the blast take extra arcane damage. Also, this item called Empty Crux Card, which is a container for friendly spirits. We'll use this much later. On the left, I found yet another chest, and this one had a wedding ring. Unfortunately, this wasn't a proposal, but a boss summon for a sorrowful mistress. Oh yeah, also gravesteel alloy.
I hate myself so much. 35 deaths!
At home, using our gravesteel alloy, I crafted a noble's halberd, which charged up and dealt damage. With this, I believed I was ready to take down Thorn.
But watch this, guys. Boom.
My damage was horrendous. So I backed away, added another layer for easier movement, and started spamming grenades. Once again, I got it down to phase 2. Here it created a shield around itself, became more aggressive, and upgraded all its attacks.
No, I killed myself.
After 2 more attempts, I was told to go talk to the man from the portal, since he sells items that might help me with this boss. I did not want to travel that distance again, but alas, what choice do I have? Let this be a reminder that if you play this mod, do not create a large world. I began making my way over to the portal again, but on the way, I got a message letting me know that an evil presence was watching me.
I love life right now, guys. This is so fun.
But while I was loading in despair, I realized that Darren had moved in. However, before I was able to get the weapons from him, the eyes spawned. Learning from my mistakes, I kept my distance and didn't use grenades too much. I also mid-fight maxed out my mana, and shortly after, I was able to take out Die.
No, no, no. Just die, bastard!
With that, I had enough shadow diamonds to be able to set up the magic storage, so I did that. In case you don't know, the magic storage is a mod. Yeah, it lets you store all your items in one place, and also lets you craft using those items. So yeah, I can't live without this mod at this point. I then talked to Darren and bought a cantrip staff, a flint and steel, and a bearded hatchet. The bearded hatchet is just an axe that has a cool swinging animation. The flint and steel, it's for Minecraft!
I am Steve.
It generates tiny sparks of flame that burn enemies. And finally, the cantrip staff. It shoots fireballs. Darren also gave me advice on the mod. The only important ones though were to check under the portal and also to grab a scroll sitting next to it. But before we do all that, I first decided to try out the cantrip staff against Everthorn, and I was actually dealing good damage now because you see, Everthorn is weak to flame damage. I mean, I guess plants do burn when you douse them in flames. So now, it was just a matter of skill issue.
I killed it! I killed it! The blight should quell with this unfortunate warden slain. What does that mean? What does that mean?
From Thorn, I got a circlet of brambles. That makes every 5th user of a magic weapon shoot a spread of stingers and increases your life regen in the jungle. Also some natural elemental bonuses. I then decided to fight Thorn again for a melee weapon it drops, and I was able to take it down because I'm just a goat. Even though I did that to poison 2 seconds later. I didn't get the sword, but I did get this message.
Shrieks echo through the night. What does that mean? Am I about to fight a boss?
So when I was getting wood for more housing, the Keeper awoke. She gave me quite a scare, but once I got over my initial fear of a woman, it was time for me to lock in. The Keeper has 4 attacks. She teleports around, then dashes and slashes at you, which inflicts bleeding on you. Then she shoots a bunch of blood waves at you, and if these hit you, they heal the Keeper. She shoots these bolts, and then creates an explosion of souls. And it's safe to say that me being just that guy, quickly adapted to these attacks.
We're gonna heal in like a second, never mind.
After dying, I realized that I still had splunkers in my inventory, so now I could go and mine for life crystals, because I so desperately needed those at this point. Well, not just life crystals, but also gold armor, because I can't dodge for shit. And this time the mining session was actually going great. Well, at least until it was quickly abrupted by a boulder.
But what? God damn.
Well, anyways, we got our life up to 280 and then go mining once again. I got some gravitation potions and had an epiphany. The boulder texture pack also makes cactus invisible. So yeah, the desert was quite dangerous. So I got some more gold, then died to another boulder. At home using the gold, I made myself gold armor, which gave me arcane resistance now. Using the gravitation potions we found, I went looking for sky islands. After a while of looking, I wasn't able to find one. However, I did find this living tree, and below that was the structure. It doesn't exactly look like one, but that's a crashed ship. I couldn't mine it nor find an entrance to it, so I left it for now. We'll come back to this in hard mode.
Yippee, we're gonna head back this way.
Then once again we go looking for islands, and this time I was able to find one and got a Star Fury. Using the potion, I hit up the portal again and grabbed this scroll sitting on the table. Yeah, that's definitely not a boss spawner. I went below the portal to find this thing. Breaking that thing ended up releasing this guy called Noob.
Noob. That's supposed to be like a play on words, noob. I get it.
He just sold dirt and gems. I still had gravitation potions left, so I explored for a bit more. I eventually found this island.
Oh, what's this? It's a big portal.
Oh, wow. I know this big ass portal looks sick, but you might be disappointed to hear that in this version of the mod, it doesn't really serve a purpose. I should have just waited a couple of months before making this video, but it's fine, it's fine. We still got a lot of content to cover. At home, I used the scroll to spawn in the pale bad imp.
Great heavens! Oh my god! Doth thine brain be stuck in to summon a demon so close to my land? It's heresy! Repent! Repent for thy sins! Lest I smack at thine buttocks with the hand of judgment.
So yeah, it spawned this Solaire looking dude called Erhan. And let's just say he's right behind me, isn't he?
Oh!
So yeah, this boss was way out of my league for now. At this point, I noticed that my alignment was now 2, and it was telling me that I was choosing the right path. I also fought Darren again to get the sword, the Cursed Grassblade. This makes it so that when you kill an enemy, they release seeds, which turn into brambles and poison enemies. Then using the eggs that I'd collected thus far by slaughtering chickens, I crafted an egg crown, which spawned in the Foul Emperor.
A Foul Emperor? Did he just laugh at me?
The Foul Emperor is a mini-boss who loves laughing at you despite being weak as shit. His attacks are basic. He just shoots feathers and then flies around and drops bombs on you. He also has minions that jump in and attack you. And finally, he takes off his crown to polish it in the middle of the battle. So, attacking him when he's polishing his crown makes him go dookie booty mode, and he starts flailing around while spawning in more minions.
What's he doing? He's just kind of like going back and forth. I'm so lost right now.
He'll stay in this freaky frantic state until you break these coop crates. These drop egg crackers, which you can throw on the Emperor to stun him and revert him back to his previous phase. But it took me really long to realize that, so I was already done with 70% of the fight. The rest of the fight remained the same, and I was quite quickly able to knock this dude off his bridges. But yeah, this would have been so much more fun if he wasn't so tanky. Which, to be fair, once again, isn't the mod's fault, but rather mine for turning on Master Mode. From the Foul Emperor, the only thing I got was a Foul Warhorn that calls upon the Foul Morning, but only during midday. As you can see, it's not midday, so we move on. So instead, we're just gonna try fighting Erhan again.
Seize! There he is. There's a cool ass guy. This guy's low-key kind of crazy.
And in case you're wondering, he should not be screaming like this. This might or might not be because of a treasure pack I turned on for another boss. But anyways, Erhan, the Agnostic High Priest, has a lot of attacks. He shoots homing light projectiles. He shoots holy spears. He creates giant pillars of light rays. He also has a holy Bible which has its own set of attacks. Now this might look insanely hard to keep up with, because it is, but it's still fair because Erhan gets tired after a while and takes a quick break. During this break, he puts up a shield around him, which reflects projectiles. But luckily, we're going melee, so I could just close in the distance and start whacking him.
Alright it. I had regained have at the... What is this guy? This guy is insane. I love him. I love him so much. Why is he screaming like that? Is this a pre-hard mode boss? What? Before the next attempt, we once again go mining because I once again wanted more life, and I ended up finding the school corpse that, guess what, is gonna be important later, baby. I also got the Goblin Army status message, so after returning home, we start working on taking out the Goblin Army. I'm doing no damage to the Goblin Army, guys. Isn't that crazy?
And this was actually really hard, since for all the Goblin Warriors, you now have to break their armor before you can damage them. Was it annoying? Yes. A lot. But is that the mod's fault? Nope. It's mine. Because for some reason, they're just so much more buffed in Master Mode. But still, I'm not one to give up. So I just kept pushing, and after a very painful time, I did end up taking out the army. Now at this point, I also started looking into the weapons, and there was this one weapon I really wanted called the Zweihander. And for that, you need to get the two parts of the weapon first, which are dropped by an enemy called the Fallen that spawns in the cavern lair. So we go looking for those as well as the Tinkerer. While doing so, I did find a lot of these places with Greysteel in them, which once again, I wanted for the Common Guard armor. But yeah, after a while of mining, I wasn't able to find the enemy.
The Grand Larva, what does this do? Ah, it releases flies! Larvae are eating away at your flesh.
But I did get enough life crystals to finally max out my life, and also the Tinkerer. So after selling him all my weapons, ores, bars, equipment, innocence, inheritance from my late grandfather, I was able to now afford rocket boots. But I couldn't afford a workshop, so that was kinda useless. Since it was now midday, I used the Foul Warhorn to start the Foul Morning. It starts off with weak-ass chickens just charging at you, and with each wave, there were just more variations of the chicken. None of them posed much of a challenge. That was until wave 6, when a mini-boss called Cacatris spawned.
Oh my god, it stunned me, it stuns me.
He did drop me an interesting accessory called X-Shield, which was just a worse version of a Cobalt Shield. Then I just kept running into cockatrices until phase 8, where this dude pulled up called Basan, who was actually interesting and was quite a threat.
Oh, he scorches fire. Oh, he's flying now, he's flying.
But I kind of just moved him to the arena, and this fight became much easier because, well, I got the high ground and his attacks couldn't really reach me.
And when he goes up there, we just go up here. Never mind, that dumbass fell down.
With Bassam taken out, the chickens all left. He didn't drop me anything good other than this drippy ass cloak. However, he could drop a magic weapon, so I wanted that. So I decided to fight him again once it was morning. But he never did fight him again once it was morning. But with that, I now had enough money to afford a Tinkerer's workshop. Or at least I would have. But more people arrived, so the prices went up. I guess that's how inflation works. So to cope, I made a calcite wand, which was kind of bad, not gonna lie. It just drops stone above your cursor. And a moonflare staff, which is a summoner weapon. I know I said magic and melee, but like, I'm drowning here, man. Also, the staff just looks so cool. And then once again, I go looking for a new cave. I don't know why, but yeah. While mining, I slowly ended up reaching the snow biome, and there I met these vagrant spirits again and found a bunch of Gathic structures. Then once I returned home, I had now amassed enough wealth to treat myself to a tinkerer's workshop, using which I was able to make flurry boots. Then once it was night.
Shrieks echo through the night.
So I worked on the arena while I waited for the creeper to spawn. Since I now knew what to expect, I was actually handling the keeper pretty well.
Oh, that's so painful. That's so painful.
At this point, my plan was to go to the jungle for an anklet of the wind so I can get lightning boots, because my movement at this stage of the game was really irritating me. And I was actually able to find the anklet pretty quickly.
Oh, 58, that's just crazy.
But you see, I didn't have an anklet somehow, so I couldn't make the boots. Thankfully, I'm a cheater and have Alchemist NPC enabled, which adds this NPC that sells you accessories.
5 gold. Oh wow. I'm gonna throw something. I'm bash my head in.
Let's just fight Erhan, man.
I foresee my defeat creeping up on me. Well, if all else faileth. Grenade. How doth one use this thing? Oh, okay, okay. If mayhaps you shan't spare my life, send Master Hallowed Knight my regards. Hallow Knight? Hollow Knight? Well, till we meet again. Attempting to summon a demon and fighting a priest. Are you alright in the head?
So with that, we're halfway through pre-hard mode, which is a crazy statement to say almost 30 minutes into the video. But I hope so far you're enjoying this video. That took more time than it's worth to make. But now let me quickly take just 5 seconds of your time to tell you about the new Bijou plushie I'm partnering with Makeshift to make, or potentially make. Because in order to make one, we need your help. We're doing a quick 10-day petition where you can pledge $2 to show that you actually want one. And don't worry, if we don't hit our goal of 200 supporters, you get your money back. But if we do, those $2 turn into a discount on your very own Bijou plushie. So this way, you can take out all your pent-up anger on him instead of me. You can drown him, hang him, burn him, crucify him, force him to become a Minecraft YouTuber, then cancel him for ton to minor. So yeah, if you want something to torture or just want a high quality plushie, make sure to check out the Bijou plushie in the description, because that really helps support the channel. Wait a minute, that wasn't 5 seconds. That was 25 seconds.
Now it's 30 seconds.
From Erhan, I got the super duper cool pet, which I really like because I loved Erhan. He's just one of those guys you can't hate. I also got a sword called Bentgling, absolutely butchered that pronunciation. But this sword was sick, since it caused critical strikes to release homing light masses. Then guess what we did next? That's right, baby, we once again explored the underground because I needed money, and also grave steel. I was able to find a bunch of grave steels, so with that, I crafted the common guard armor. I went with the guard helm instead of the bucket helm, because it offered more melee damage with the cost of less defense. Then after selling all my assets, reducing my entire net worth down to 0, I bought an aglet. And with that, we can finally get lightning boots. I also started farming Erhan because I really wanted a magic weapon he dropped. I beat him once, and twice, and twice. Bruh.
Ah! Oh my god, I'm dead. Oh my god, this shit's about to be crazy.
I'm just so strong that I had to get jumped for them to have a fair chance, and I'm not just gonna take that. So I decided to show them the power of a true lobotomite when he's not getting ganged up on.
Uh-oh. God damn it. Second phase. Ah! Oh, I'm so close! It just reflected all those. That just saved me. All right, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's so over. It's so over. Now I can just like stay back, and I got cocky. No, no, no. Ah! Die, die, die. And I'm dead. Something tells me she isn't out of her. From the keeper, I got this item called Sorrowful Essence, which said something quite peculiar. But before I show you what that does, I gotta show you this weapon I got from the keeper, the Keeper's Claw. This melee weapon charges up and shoots a slash that releases a blood wave which steals life from enemies. We can also now buy a bronze wand from this new guy who moved in called the Fallen. And well, this wand is super cool because just look at it. It just feels so satisfying to use. It also deals water damage, so it's super useful for places like hell, where most of the enemies have fire attributes. Did I realize that though? No. From the Fallen, I can also get Elderwood, which I combined with the Grim Shards the Keeper dropped to make a summon weapon called the King Oak Staff. Next up, our goal is to go to the caverns because of the Sorrowful Essence we got. After some time down there, this happened. You call me a vermin? Nah, bro, I'm not about to take this disrespect. I can't even say disrespect. Disrespect. So basically, this simp pulled up because we heard his Twitch streamer queen, and now he's here to take revenge. Bro was all talk though. I was just melting his ass. Beat you with your master's hand, dumbass. Get shit on. Ooh, trash ass. Trash. Look at his health. Look at his health. Look at that little boo boo. Ow, shit. He's actually kind of hard. Damn, this is easy. I'm just melting this guy. That's crazy. Bro was talking all this shit. I'm not even dodging. I'm barely dodging. Bro was talking all that shit. Bro was talking all that shit. And got killed. Oh my god. Not only did I absolutely humiliate the Skulldigger, but I also yanked his weapon from him. The Skulldigger. And this weapon was actually pretty good, since even though it's a flail, when you swing it, it creates projectiles that accelerate towards your cursor. And another thing we got was the Abandoned Teddy, and the Chalice had this to say about it. Now, since it was night, I was gonna go fight the Keeper so I could get the mage weapon she dropped, but because I had the teddy bear in my inventory, this happened. Where'd the teddy bear go? Oh, she has it. You took the teddy bear. Keeper noticed the teddy bear that you're holding. Wait, I don't remember this one. Thank you. You've reduced user Octavia may rest in the underground, please. Octavia. Putting the Keeper to rest lets me get this accessory called the Keeper's Circlet, which makes all the skeletons friendly. And this was actually really good for me because, as you've seen, I've been really struggling with the skeletons. By the way, I was also trying to show what happens if you have the Sorrowful Essence in your inventory while fighting the Keeper, because in my previous playthrough, I didn't have the teddy bear in my inventory, and that caused the Keeper and Skulldigger to start jumping me. But anyways, I still wanted the weapon, so I tried summoning her again, and instead met the Keeper's Echo. And after killing her, I didn't get it. So I can't spare this guy? Is there some way for me to spare him? So while I waited for night, I instead headed over to the Crimson to go fight the Brain of Cthulhu. And on the way, I saw that the Chalice had something to say about the wedding ring. And well, it's pretty obvious what it means by that. But before we do that, we gotta go fight the Brain. Damn, that's crazy. So because I was now home, I decided to go look for the Skulldigger, and I found him just chilling. Who's going through an existential crisis right now because his Twitch streamer queen got too big for him and left him. If only I could have a token of her. An object of remembrance, perhaps? So I chatted with him a bit and got to know his backstory. Not that I really cared, he just kind of dumped it on me. Alright bro, just take the ring, just leave me alone. You think, he says, as he fades away. With that, it's now time to fight the Brain. Let me rephrase that. We're not gonna fight the Brain, we're gonna destroy the Brain. After setting up the arena, we spawned it in. Oh, I forgot I already took out a heart. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. I'm almost there, I'm almost there! Attempt 2 was going much better, since I could easily take out the tissue samples with our flail. But the second phase was a problem for me. No! What could I have done there? For attempt 3, I added hard lanterns and campfires to the arena before fighting it again. This time I kept moving and was able to deal with the second phase. Now with Crimson acquired, I made Crimson armor and the pickaxe. Then I decided that it was now time to build, because I hated my current base. Cue the Minecraft music. While building, I had a blood moon happen, which was an incredibly painful experience. But then I remembered, hey, I'm not a vanilla player, I'm a filthy modded player, I can just cheat. So I ended up talking to the Abomination and canceling the event.
The blissful life of a disgusting modded rat. Well, anyways, once I was done with the first part of the base, which I straight up copied from this guy, I had this thing up here, a sleeping stone. I saw that I could damage it, so I started serving it some knuckle sandwiches. Once I got his health down to 0, it spawned this creature called the Eagle Crest Golem, and this dude was low-key kinda sick. His attacks consisted of whip slashing, shooting lightning, turning into a boulder and shooting more boulders which summoned lightning too, and my personal favorite, these dumbass babies that just roll around and throw themselves at you. I didn't last too long, but that's fine because now we can go back to building. What I was building now was a big house to store all the NPCs. I first created a layout using the insta houses and then detailed it up. The final thing I wanted to create was like a tree to hold all the relics. But after trying and trying and trying, I just couldn't figure it out. So I just kind of gave up on that. Even though there was still stuff I wanted to add, I decided to call it here because it took me a couple of hours to build all this, but I never did return to building because I never got that spark again for the rest of the playthrough. I then started conversing with the NPCs, and Darren was actually selling the spawner for the Eagle Crest column. But before that, he also had some new advice.
There's apparently another portal underground too. I gotta check if I were you. Well, you're not me, so
So now, I gotta get my revenge. I bought the spawner and tried using it, but it didn't work until I was on the ground.
I used it. How did I use it? A sleeping stone. Where is it at?
I tried looking around for those and didn't really see them, so that was 10 gold wasted. I tried following the boss instructions, which claimed the sleeping stones spawn naturally on the surface after beating the evil bosses, but I didn't find any on either side. So instead I just placed my house as collateral, took out a loan and bought another spawner.
There it is.
This time I was able to find the sleeping stone. Since I knew what to expect and was now in an actual arena, I was doing a whole lot better. Even though my damage was quite horrendous, I was able to dodge most of its attacks super easily.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. No. Just die. Just die. Just die, please. Please, just die. I'll do anything. Just die. 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 Oh my god, the brain of confusion. Go and punch. The brain of confusion. Punch. Slight overreaction there, but we did win, so who's overreacting now?
That boss fight took me around 7 minutes, but it was worth it because I got some cool ass weapons. First, we got a sling, which was kinda mid. The second was the Eagle Crest Glove, a magic weapon that shoots boulders that spawn lightning when they hit the ground. Third was a summon weapon that spawned a pebble which shot lightning when you whipped enemies. And finally, the Eagle Crest Javelin, which is a throwable melee weapon that not only pierces but also summons down lightning upon the enemies you hit. And this one was extremely convenient to use. Then at night, we fight the Keeper again.
Oh my god, bro, I'm so crisp brown coated right now. Can I say that? Or is that kind of...
And once again, we don't got the weapon we're looking for. The next boss up is the Seed of Infection. To craft the spawner, we need meteorite bars, so we go looking for that. After getting the meteorite, we can make the spawner. But before I made that, I still wanted the Keeper's weapon. So while I waited for night, I decided to make a elevator. And like we've established, I'm a filthy modded and we don't do things the normal way. So I wanted to craft an instavator that creates a complete elevator instantly. And for that, I needed a lot of dynamite. And for that, I needed money. And since I'm a lazy ass, I didn't want to set up a whole money farm. I got better things to do with my time. Okay, maybe I don't, but like... So because I have a lot of mods on, surely there's some way for me to exploit one of the mods and make a ton of money, right? I started experimenting, buying materials materials, then turning them into different items, and then reselling them to get a profit. We tried mannequins, dressers, chairs, tables, item frames, squirrel sculptures, you name it. Now, some of them did work, but the profit I made was a couple of silver each time. But then, something incredible happened. I received news that my uncle from my mom's side, 5 times removed, had just passed away, and since he didn't have any family, I received his inheritance. So yeah, I came into a lot of money. Definitely legit. And my friend Vervine, who's a Terraria modder, being in the chat watching my struggles, totally didn't just make me a mod to give me infinite money or anything like that. Nope, that didn't happen at all. Well, with our newfound fortune, we were able to create an Excavator. But did we use it? No. Instead, we went back to fight the Keeper again, still trying to get that magic weapon. Didn't happen again, and at this point I just gave up on it since it wasn't worth all the hassle. Here's what it does if you're wondering. Now with the Excavator, I started looking for the Jolly Madman for the Zweihander, or any ancient chests I can get, because there's a chance for it to be in one of those too. And while doing so, I found this huge structure which I couldn't enter. This is the abandoned laboratory, and we can't really do anything to it. I mean, if you're a pro Terrarian like me, you can finagle your way in, but doing so causes this to happen. I spent a while in the caverns, and guess what? I didn't find the madman! So instead I just crafted the anomaly detector and used that to spawn in the seed of infection, who came out of a portal and instantly started brawling.
Ah, shit, I thought I was gonna take me somewhere.
It has a lot of poison-themed attacks, and it mainly attacks using these xenomite shards. Xenomite? That sounds like it'll be important later. God, I'm so tired of saying those words. He also has tentacles that swing at you, a fart attack, and a dash. It was actually pretty easy to get used to these attacks early on. The best weapons I found in my arsenal was the javelin and the boulders. And even though the damage wasn't that crazy, I was able to get him down to around half health, where he got more aggressive and his attacks upgraded. But still, with a hook and a double jump, I was able to dodge the projectiles and keep my distance.
And it's over. I'm not even gonna move. You're not even worth my time.
Beating the seed of infection caused this portal to open up, and this guy dropped out. His name's Adam, and he logged onto the wrong signal or something. He comes from a snowy wasteland, and also just moves in. I guess anybody can just move in. Our doors are wide open. Wait a minute. He sold the seed of infection spawner and also a vanity set.
I'm like the medic from TF2. It's kind of hard to look at it right now, but like, I'm like the medic from TF2, bro. Did he just get knocked out?
Anyways, the seed of infection dropped me a material called xenomite shards, as well as this melee weapon called the Xenosystem, which just spins around and gets faster the longer you hold it. But I don't like using it because it makes me get closer to enemies, and that makes me get hurt. And I don't like that, so I don't know why I'm even playing melee. Why can't all my melee weapons just be stronger mage weapons? And finally, I got this accessory called the Necklace of Sight, which increases your critical strike chance by 6% and also gives you night vision and the panic buff. I then bought some accessories from this NPC because I didn't want to explore, and I used that to make a blizzard and a balloon, and then upgraded that into the white horseshoe balloon. I then tried beating the seed of infection for more xenomite shards. Keyword tried.
Oh my god, don't kill me, don't kill me, do not kill me, please, I'm begging you. Actually, you know what, I ain't begging you, I ain't begging no one, bro. No. Oh, I should have begged, I should have begged.
Once I beat it, I used the shards to craft a contagion spreader. This is a mage weapon that shoots shards which stick onto enemies and deal damage over time. And if you right click, it makes all the shards explode. Now from here on, there's only one Mod of Redemption boss left before hard mode. So let's speed through this. After acquiring some obsidian skin potions, we head on over to hell to get ourselves plenty of hellstone. Using that, we make ourselves hellstone armor, and then quickly make our way over to the dungeon to set up our arena and get ready to beat Skeltron's ass. While doing that, this drone pulled up to us and dropped us an item called Omega's Gift, which contained a vanity set, the set being of a boss or something later on. While I waited for night, I decided to go look around and get the materials needed for the Deerclop spawner.
Oh, I found a Flinks! I found him. I found you. Can't hide from me forever. I found you.
By the time I got all the flinks fur, it was nighttime. So we head on over to the dungeon and spawn in this musty bastard. And once again, I am absolutely baffled at how insane Master Mode damage is, since not only did I barely deal any damage, but every single hit from Skeltron was like a tackle from Nikocado Avocado. I gotta pause this real quick, because that joke is no longer valid. He just dropped a new video today.
Oh, what the hell? That did 70 damage! That did 70 damage! That did 70 damage! Oh shit, my neighbor's outside. God damn it, my window's open up!
I then started reforging my equipment because I needed as much defense as I can get. Then once again, while we wait for night, we spend our time fighting Deerclops. And because of all the hard mods I've been playing, I forgot how easy this fight was. So it's safe to say, your boy was cooking.
I cannot cook anything if I'm getting cooked like this, bro. Y'all see how he's handling me? I'm like doing no damage. I got this. I got this. I'm him. I'm just god damn if he hit me.
After stoning the deer corpse to death, we still had some time before nighttime. So we head on over to the jungle and start doing preparations to fight Queen Bee.
Who did that? Who did that? Who did that?
You did that, dumbass. The bee honestly was the only boss we faced so far that was actually taking decent damage from my weapons. So because of that, combined with my god-given gifts of gaming skills and good looks, we very quickly melt the bee.
I just gotta do this, do this, do this, do this, and do this.
Now, since we still had time, I decided to set up an elder tree farm. Basically, if you get ancient dirt and plant acorns on it, they grow into elder trees. The reason I wanted elder trees was because, like I mentioned earlier, I still wanted the Zoihander because I was just curious at this point. But anyways, you can get the Zoihander parts by shaking the trees. It's a super low chance, but I was looking the floor for scraps at this point. I also talked to Darren to buy Daryl's silverwood bow from him. With this, we head on over to the ocean because apparently the shimmer is always underneath the ocean. And after spending the whole night looking for the shimmer, we finally end up finding it. And with that, we can turn the Stormbow into Zephyrus' Sword Slicer. This was a true melee weapon that made it so that hitting enemies gives them a debuff that reduces their contact or weapon damage, and it also apparently blocks projectiles. Anyway, since it was now morning, I decided to go look for Calavia, who is the next Mod of Redemption boss. And to find her, we first need to find an underground portal. I spent pretty much the whole day in here, but I didn't find it. Once it was night, I had another graveyard happen. And I hate this event so much because it felt like it was happening every night. Anyways, I got a cool trumpet. After very slowly making my way over to the dungeon, it was now time. I put all my focus into taking down the arms, and once I took them down, Skeletron's defense reduced by a lot. This allowed me to switch my focus onto the head. Beating Skeletron gave me this message. After beating Skeletron, something interesting happens. You see, this is where the alignment matters for the first time, because if you have a positive alignment, a new material called Gathic Cryo Crystal starts appearing in the ice biome. And if you have a negative alignment, instead of the crystals, you get Dragon Lead Ore. And I'll be completely honest, I'm looking at the Dragon Lead armor and weapons right now, and they're so much more cooler than the Gathic ones. But still, we gotta work with what we got. So I grabbed a bunch of them. On the way to the portal, I found a chest containing a Mistfall magic weapon, which is way outclassed at this point, but it'll be useful in a second. We can combine the crystals with iron to make pure iron. Using that, I made myself pure iron armor, which gave me fire resistance and also made my weapons inflict the pure chill debuff. With the armor acquired, I went back and got even more crystals. So using those, I could get myself the weapons. The Pure Iron Staff is a magic weapon that charges up a snowflake which you can shoot out. The Pure Iron Sword is a true melee weapon that hits 4 times and then does a spinning slash that deals double damage and also looks pretty cool. Finally, the Antler Staff, which is a summon weapon that I just made because I wanted to see what a fort was. And I can safely say, I love this little creature. Now we can finally go to the portal. Once I reached the portal, it was glowing, and this person dropped out. She was speaking Japanese and then just started throwing hands for some reason. Her attacks mainly consist of her slashing at me, then charging at me, and if she's feeling quirky, then sometimes freezing me. In the beginning, I dealt no damage because she has a lot of guard, and in order to put the hurt on her, I first had to break her guard. The best way to take down her guard isn't gaslighting, but rather using a heavy weapon like a hammer. But I didn't know that, so I was really struggling with this boss. Especially in this arena, which I really hated, because it's just so small. Okay, maybe it's on the average side.
Oh my god, I'm dead. One more hit and it's over. One more hit and it's over. Please don't come in here. No! Wait, what's in this chest? Red ringer.
But still, I couldn't expand it because I couldn't break these blocks, so this was all I had. By the way, a cool thing about this boss is that she can use potions. She has a regeneration potion she can use once in the fight, a swiftness potion she can use twice, and an iron skin potion which she can also use twice.
Oh, she's dodging. That's what she's doing. She literally does a step back and dodges. It's like, bro, she's the MC and I'm the dumbass. Try dodging this. Try dodging this. She dodged it.
And with that, I was able to get her health down to 300, where this happened.
Traborti! I yield.
So yeah, she got her ass beaten. I really wanted to kill her, but I'm not a bad boy. Actually, one might even say, he's giving golden retriever energy. From the chest next to her, I got an item called Dead Ringer, which I could right click on corpses and use it to call their spirits. I used it on the skeleton and it released this person. So I got a Spirit Walker ability. This ability lets me transport in and out of the spirit realm. I was also able to talk to this NPC who just kept on yapping. But essentially, I learned from this that I can talk to spirits now and finally use the crux cards we've been finding all this time. Right now in the mod, this is the only ability you can get, and I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I never used this ability again. I talked to Calavia, who called me a Ken, and she hates crews or something. It also looks like she escaped from the snowland like that other dude ran into. But she did have an interesting option. Turns out that if I get her a Gathic cryo furnace, she can craft me some new weapons. Also, she wanted a new pure iron helmet and 6 iron to fix her shield, cause I kinda broke those, so I made those and gave them to her. She gave me options to upgrade 3 weapons: the Zweihander into a Blade of the Mountain, the Elderwood crossbow into a pure iron crossbow, and the Mistfall into an Icefall. So now I really did need the Zweihander. So it was time to farm the Jolly Madman. I got some battle potions and calming potions, some water candles, and also made some peace candles. Also, I could craft the battle cry, which is a really convenient item that lets you turn up the enemy spawn rate by 10 times by left clicking, or turn it down 10 times by right clicking. I also checked up on our trees, and by shaking them, I ended up getting the hilt, which is crazy, or so I thought, but it's a 2.52% chance, which is still rare, but not as rare as I initially thought. I then used the Spirit Walker ability for the second and last time, and talked to this skeleton I found earlier, and out came this dude. This was the spirit of the Brain Cleaver. He once again yapped and dropped lore on me, which to be completely honest, I couldn't care less about, but he did say he could give me an interesting upgrade if I get him a battle axe. So I crafted that and gave it to him. In return, he used one of my crux cards and put into it Gathic soldiers. Crux cards are essentially pre-hardmode summons that you can get that instead of using mana, use lost souls to spawn. And they also don't use any minion slots. They do, however, have health and can die from taking damage. Currently, there's 10 cards in the mod, and the one I got spawned these 2 goofy-ass skeletons that jumped enemies. After spending a while looking for the Jolly Madman and not finding any, I died and decided to upgrade my shoes all the way to Tearspark boots. Once again, little cheater here, so I bought most of the items from this guy, and with that I was able to get the Tearspark boots. Yeah, boo me all you want. I could have just said I farmed for it and none of you would have cared. After spending half an hour looking for the madman, I still didn't find any. Until, what's this? Whoa. They just keep coming. With that, I talked to the Fallen and turned the 2 parts into the Zweihander. This sword is a sword. You can hold it and slash. Yeah, that's it. Well, apparently you can also parry some projectiles using this. That was anticlimactic. So now I went and talked to Calavia and got all the weapons upgraded. The crossbow shot bolts which attached to enemies and then exploded shortly after. The Icefall created a mist around the cursor which dropped shards of ice. And apparently as I was writing the script, I found out if you use the Blade of the Mountain, you can launch these and make them do so much more damage. And the Blade of the Mountain was just a Zweihander, but now it did more damage and froze enemies if you hit them with the tip.
But why can't I not be like her? She was so cool. This was not worth it, bro. This was not worth it. Give me a cool ass blade. What is this?
So yeah, I was kind of disappointed by this. I talked to Calavera and she dipped out of here since she didn't have anything else she wanted to do here. Like the other portal, as of right now, we can't do anything with this one. So let's just move on. Now, it's time for the final pre-hard mode boss. I reforged some items, made some obsidian bridges, and then combined them to create a double obsidian bridge and headed to hell. In hell, I first had to scout out the entire thing so that if I use the obsidian bridge, it doesn't destroy any Mod of Redemption structures, because I had that happen in one of my older playthroughs. So once I confirmed that, I used the bridge to create myself a nice ass arena. And then it was now time to farm for a voodoo doll. Once I got one, I used it to spawn the Wall of Flesh. And to be honest, out of my entire arsenal of weapons, the only useful weapons I had were the Eagle Crest Javelin because it pierced and hit the wall, and also the Iron Staff. But while using the Iron Staff, something insane happened.
Where's my mouse? Oh my god, I ended stream on accident.
But right after that, I locked in.
Anyways, now I have to lock in because I'm playing horrible.
I got doo-doo on. So once again, we gotta farm for voodoo dolls. Attempt 2, I still did super shit. So before attempt 3, I decided to get some potions. After losing my mind trying to get voodoo demons, I gave in and manually moved the guide in to spawn in the wall.
No! Wall of Flesh has been defeated, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I didn't even realize I was dealing damage to it. We're in.
We're up. We're all. We're in. We're up. We're all. We're on. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, we got the breaker blade. So with that, we're halfway through the video and the mod, and as you've seen, the progression has not been the best, which is why from here on I stopped streaming so I could solely focus on the mod, and that actually really helped. So prepare yourself for some smooth and linear progression. Let me also take this moment to remind you to subscribe and hit the like button if you haven't already. Also check out the plushie if you haven't already, and also join the Discord if you haven't already, and also give me a blood sacrifice if you haven't already. The first thing I did was go and talk to Adam because he had a whole ass light bulb on his head, and while he was yapping a whole lot, but he was also selling new materials and a whole nuke. Apparently you can use this nuke to create a new biome. After going down a whole pipeline because these materials can be turned into other materials, which can be turned into more materials, and those can be turned into more materials.
What the hell just happened? Why did the wall of flesh? What?
I bought the nuclear warhead, but before I used it, I decided to get upgrades. After quickly breaking some evil altars adding Hardmode ores to our world, I went hunting for cobalt. While doing so, I ran into the wizard and he was selling a new weapon called Taika Sava. This weapon is amazing. So basically this is a magic wand that doesn't have one attack, no. This has 14 different attacks which it cycles through. And this was not only super satisfying to use, but it also does really good damage. Anyways, after grabbing a cobalt pickaxe, we get orichalcum. And while doing so, I tried entering the lab to see if I could, and I got vaporized. Then I ran into a rune wizard, and well, my damage was not quite optimal. Well, once I got enough orichalcum to get a pickaxe, I go get titanium. While doing so, I run into a crimson mimic, and despite my best efforts, I couldn't take it out. I did find a regular mimic though, and this one I could take out. I got a titan glove from it, so I upgraded that into a power glove for now. With that, I had enough titanium to get myself complete titanium armor. I made the magic version because I was mainly using the Taika Salva because I love this weapon. I used it to take out the wall so I could get an emblem for one of my classes. Next up, it was time to farm for a melee weapon. For that, I needed to get Soul of Knights, so I quickly set up a farming area and started farming. This was insanely hard because I just kept dying. And I realized that it was because I had 0 regeneration. I had to put down hard lanterns and campfires to get some regeneration going. Still, that 2 regeneration I got from the lanterns and campfires wasn't enough.
Goodbye, my new back to the lab.
Eventually, I did get enough souls to craft a blood-stained pike. And this is another interesting weapon. It's a spear, but it also behaves like a lance, because when held out, you can use it to charge into enemies as well as skewer them. If you skewer 5 enemies or hold onto some for a bit, the blood-stained pike then gets enchanted, becoming a summoner weapon and charging at nearby enemies for 10 seconds. So with this, we go to the Hallowed to get Soul of Lights, because the pike has a Hallowed counterpart. In the Hallowed, we follow the same process and set up an arena. Once I had enough souls, I used them to make the Crystal Glaive, which does a cool combo when left-clicking and right-clicking makes it shoot crystal shards. For our next upgrade, we go to the sky, because I wanted angel wings, so I can definitively prove to you guys that I truly am an angel. Once I got the wings, I head on over to the ice biome, create a little safe spot, and start a blizzard. Because now our goal is to kill ice golems, so I can get an ice feather for ice wings. Why did I want ice wings? Because the angel wings are low-key kind of trash. I also wanted frost cores for a frost armor set. Anyways, I'm just gonna let you witness the farming process for yourself.
Oh shit, why did I just glitch out? Oh my god, oh, I hate this game. Is that a gosh diddly darn robot over there? Android Mark 1. It probably drops some spicy stuff, doesn't it? What the hell? Why are there so many robots spawning? They're everywhere. Let me see what happens when I kill one. Where'd this bigger one come from? I didn't even notice him. He killed me through the... That's crazy. That's crazy.
So I decided to make a better farming area because this was a very tedious process, and I really did want to keep my mental faculties in check. Now this is where something interesting happens. I killed the robot enemies again, and they just started spawning in my base.
What the hell did they get in, man? This is frustrating. Oh yeah, oh, it's the big ones too. Holy sh... Oh, I'm so tired of dying. What are these things?
So these robots are interesting because there exists a hidden value called Slayer Star Rating. Killing the androids causes it to go up, which makes this prototype robot spawn. And killing enough of these causes this crazy ass dude to spawn. And killing one of those causes a boss to spawn. But I was never able to reach that point because later on, you can just craft the spawner for the boss. Once I had all the frost cores, I quickly got a lot more titanium and used that to make myself frost armor, which looks different, but it quickly grew on me. But anyways, as I was about to make the frost wings, the destroyer awoke.
Wait, what? Wait, what? When the hell did this guy spawn?
Well, I had gotten the message earlier, but my blind ass missed it because I was working on crafting the frost armor. The destroyer fight went as you might expect. I shredded the loser. So after getting more and more souls of flights, I made frost wings. Now with this, I couldn't make any more upgrades, so I started looking for a good spot in my world to nuke. I was planning on putting it in a spot where it won't affect my world too much, but while doing so, the crimson enemies kept annoying me, so I moved it to the crimson to blow all these bastards to smithereens.
How do I... Oh, there we go. Gotta flip the switches. Oh my god. Oh shit, there's a timer. Goddamn. Wait, but what if I don't run? Low-key for research purposes. I kind of want to see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Damn, that's beautiful.
So using that nuke, we created a wasteland biome. And like I said before, this was unironically the coolest thing ever. The enemies there were dropping a new material called toxic bile. Using these, we can upgrade our weapons from earlier. But for that, we also need a material called xenomite, which we get after beating a mechanical boss. Or do we? I'll come back to that in a second, because right now my goal was to get toxic bile for a magic weapon. But going to the wasteland was causing me to get a lot of debuffs due to radiation poisoning.
Why am I taking so much damage? I got radiation. What do I do with this? Can I even do anything? Guess not.
So yeah, this mod adds radiation, and not just some, but a lot of radiation, as you'll see later. I tried talking to Darren to see if he had any advice. He didn't, so I went to Adam, and he was selling new equipment to help me with the radiation. I bought a gas mask, a hazmat suit, and a couple of these anti-crystallizer serums and radiation pills. Also, I could complete my Lethal Company cosplay. I also got this thing called Geiger Muller, which lets you get a reading of the radiation around you. And all you should know is, stay away from the reworks.
Do I eat this? I do. I eat the radiation pills. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my.
So with this, I could now farm the enemies, but they were kind of formidable. So I started working on a farm. Once I got it set up, it was smooth sailing from here. At least it would have been if it wasn't for these stupid ass bloated diggers. Well, that's fine because I now had enough to craft myself the Hydra's Maw. This is a magic weapon that shoots acidic pea streams and also an acid orb that explodes. You can also hit it while it's midair to make it explode more. Now we go back to the wasteland because I wanted to kill this enemy called Bob the Blob, which had 70,000 health, and also wanted more toxic biles. Once I killed Bob the Blob, I got myself a ranged weapon called Dan. And this weapon was amazing because it was a shotgun, but if you hold it, you can make it spin. And it's super satisfying to use. Anyways, I headed over to the shimmer because I had an idea.
So according to the recipe browser, if you throw this into the shimmer, it should turn... There we go. It turned into xenomite. I'm a genius. I am a genius.
So you can throw the bile into shimmer to get yourself a bunch of xenomite. And like I said, you technically get this after beating a mechanical boss, but we can shimmer it to get it early.
Someone cooked here.
With this, we can make new weapons, or more specifically, upgrade the weapons we got from the Seed of Infection. The Infectious Glaive was another spear, which did a combo that made it shoot out xenomite shards, and it also inflicted the Green Rash debuff. The Helix Scepter shoots acid bolts, which also inflict debuffs. Finally, the Infected Thorn Shield. This is the upgrade to the Shield of Cthulhu, and it increases your melee damage, and like the other weapons, makes you inflict debuffs once again. So now, it's time for a boss rush, because the next Mod of Redemption boss is fought after the mechs. I bought a bunch of potions to help me with regeneration and damage, crafted a mechanical eye, and spawned in the twins. But yeah, we quickly take down the twins because I actually had regen this time. With the Soul of Sight acquired, I made myself a synthesizer, which is a magic weapon that creates a wave across the ground. And initially, I didn't pay this weapon too much mind, but it was low-key broken, as you'll see in a second. With the Hallowed Bars, I could make a lot of weapons and equipment, but I only had enough for one weapon. Blind Justice Demon's Terror. I'm assuming you can tell why I chose that one. But to craft it, I needed crystals and souls of light. And while getting some, I also found a Queen Slime spawner in the Hallowed with my new equipment. I could actually now survive here. I spoke too soon. Who would have expected that? Once I got all the souls of light, I made the Blind Justice Demon's Terror. Now this weapon, like the other ones, was mighty cool because it did a Radiance Spin Slash. And also if you right click, you can parry. Parrying gives you immunity frames and also an instant spin slash. So now I once again go farming for souls because I still needed to craft the boss summons. And when I was going to get souls of night, I passed by the abandoned lab and saw this. What the hell is that thing? Patient Zero, what? That thing looks insane. Oh my god. Anyways, I got all the materials and crafted a mechanical eye. Again, on accident. With the spawners now acquired, I still had some time before it was night. So I just bought Queen Slime, cause why not? And as a not so wise man once said, human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? And what's a god to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? Now remove the rest of the lyrics and just leave this part and replace the king with a queen. And that's me, guys, that's me. I'm implying that I'm the god and Queen Slime is nothing to me. That's what I mean in case you didn't get it. Because yeah, I beat the Queen Slime quite easily. So with that, we move on to the destroyer. And remember the lyrics? Yeah, let's just modify those to be this. Because once again, I'm implying that I'm a god. Because, well, even though at the beginning I took a lot of damage, I was also doing a lot of damage. This went on until I got his cell down to about 10%, where I pulled out my synthesizer. And damn! I wanted to end it off with style points, so I headed up as high as I could to bait the destroyer, and then just... With more hallowed bars acquired, I made a hammer of proving. And at first, it was kinda shit, since you just swing it and it does caca damage, but the gimmick of this weapon is you can go up super high and hold the hammer out, which increases your fall speed and also amplifies your damage. Not gonna lie, this was kinda hard to use, but still super satisfying. In the Skeletron fight, I tried using the hammer, but I ended up getting hit a lot, so I just started cycling through my weapons until I regenerated my health back, and then I would use the hammer again. This was probably the most fun I had so far, but instead of telling myself to use different weapons and try different playstyles, I just pulled out the synthesizer again and started shredding Skeletron. What the hell is that? The laboratory's defense systems have malfunctioned. Oh. Now that I had all 3 souls, I made a Wraith Slayer, a Dusk Song, and an almost complete Hallowed Armor set. But once again, I remembered. I can cheat. So I bought the rest of the Hallowed bars from the Operator NPC. With that, I made a complete Hallowed Armor, a Pickaxe Axe, and an Avenger Emblem, which I turned into a Mechanical Glove, which I turned into a Fire Gauntlet. I made another Avenger Emblem to replace Erhan's Cross, which I had on this entire time. The Wraith Slayer does a quick combo, and if you kill an enemy, you have a 16% chance to spawn a Cursed Samurai. You can have a maximum of 4 of these, and this weapon is amazing for crowd control. The Dusk Song creates a big sphere that creates homing stars when it hits enemies. We still have one more magic weapon we can make, but for that we needed a Sky Fracture, and for that we needed 2 light shards. So I started making my way over to the Hallow to look for light mummies. But midway, I stopped and also checked out the ship because of the message I got after beating Skeletron Prime. Like I mentioned earlier, this wasn't the lab. It was a crashed spaceship. But at this point, I didn't really know that. Still, now I could break these blocks, which were super satisfying to break, and get a material called Cyber Scrap. By breaking those, I was able to get into the spaceship. And there I found these chests I couldn't open yet, this crafting station, and this empty seat. Well, no time to ponder because I headed over to the Hallow and put down some oasis fountains to turn it into a desert. But I think that was just cosmetic because after a while of farming enemies, I didn't find any mummies. So I just manually placed down a lot of sand blocks to turn it into a hallowed sand biome. And this was a very annoying process. It became a bit easier though after I realized that I could buy pearl sand from the architect and didn't have to manually convert the sand. But it still took a while for me to convert the biome. I did end up doing it and got the shards. And made a Sky Fracture, which I used to make a Sun Shard Great Staff. This was quite a basic weapon, at least one compared to the rest. It fired 5 slightly homing holy shards and then also a big laser. Then using the Cyber Scrap, I made a Cyber Fabricator, which was the crafting station from the ship. With this I can craft items using the Cyber Scrap, but right now I couldn't really make anything meaningful other than the boss spawner, the Cyber Radio. This can only be used that day, and when I used it, these 2 drones appeared and scanned me.
Target unimportant. That's what? I'll kill your ass. Hold on. Oh.
So this guy is Kingslayer 3. He's a robot cyborg guy who's mad at us because we destroyed his drones. Fair enough. And also because we took out the Keeper, which was this lazy ass's job.
Oh my god, he pulled out the blickies. Oh shit.
For his attacks, well, yeah, I'm not explaining all that. Here's a montage instead.
You're only wasting both of our efforts here. Might as well blow you to pieces with a few missiles. You packed more weapons than I thought for such a small flashback. You might even have to take it seriously. Look at him, look at him. Excuses. What a joke. Go ahead, shoot me if you can. This is getting ridiculous. I'm hardly trying, and I'm quite hard. What the? What? Oh. I'm frozen, I'm frozen, I'm frozen. I will call it a draw then. I'm too tired to get mad about this. I'll go back to more important business. But if you so choose, we can continue. But I won't be happy if I lose. I look, you want to go genocide, but I'm a good boy. Now don't distract me again. Adios, dingus. Wait, is that my name? No, my name's Big Jongus. Oh my god, that bastard. If you're disappointed you didn't get to see what happens if we proceed with the fight, don't worry because we will revisit this later. From Kingslayer, I got a Nano Swarmer, or more specifically a Schizophrenia Inflictor, because this is a magic weapon that shoots homing nanites, which stick onto enemies and deal constant psychic damage and also inflict the confused debuff. I got a Pocket Shield Generator as well, which creates a 200 health bubble shield around you. However, once it breaks, you take double damage. It has a 1 minute cooldown after breaking and it recharges itself from an energy pack. What's an energy pack? I don't know. Finally, I got a holo key and a new material called cyber plating, which is used for our next set of upgrades. But before that, I head on over to the crashed ship because now using the holo key, I can open the chests. From the chests, I got some weapons, materials, and also data logs that contain lore. I forgot if I mentioned this, but this mod has a lot of lore. That I'm not gonna be covering in this video because most of it flew by my head. To be honest, I kind of found it hard to keep up with the lore, other than when it's presented like this because a lot of the lore is hidden in weapons and NPC dialogue similar to a FromSoft game. I found the Kingslayer just chilling here in the seat, and bro was just a bundle of rainbows and sunshines. I could offer him uranium though, not for the 20 billion calories it contains, but to help him fix his ship. But I didn't have any uranium. So that reminded me, the underground lab. But before that, let's go over our spaceship haul real quick. From the spaceship I got 2 bio containers which grow life fruits, and these are quite good because they spawn life fruits at a really fast pace. I also laid out all the data logs, so I could at least educate myself on the information being spoon fed to me right now. And from what I gathered, this guy used to be a human who uploaded his mind to a robotic body so he could survive for 1,000,000 years because his world's being reset, and in 1,000,000 years it'll turn back to normal or something like that. The rest of the data logs cover him losing his mind and regaining feelings like thirst and hunger despite not being able to eat or drink. Let's go over the things you guys are really all here for. The weapons. Firstly, the Hypertech revolvers. Man, these guns are insane. This has to be one of my favorite modded weapons ever because these are just... Oh man, I need a drink of water. Basically, by right-clicking, you can throw the guns and then catch them to increase your firing rate. But you can do this 3 whole times and turn your pistols into a whole minigun. And I don't even care if this is impractical. This was super fun to use. Next up, the Global Discharge is a magic wand that creates a big ball of electricity that you can swing around, and it deals more damage the faster it's moving. Letting go of it also makes it go boom. Finally, I got a Cyber Chakram, which was a boomerang that leaves after images. Then using the cyber plating, I made a new armor set called the Hard Light Armor. It gave me a pretty big damage and defense increase, which was really appreciated. And also its set bonus let me summon these 2 drones that attacked when I used true melee. I then fought Kingslayer again because I wanted a melee weapon he dropped. Bro, what did I do? Look at... What? So while I waited for a day to fight it again, I bought a jetpack and then headed over to the wastelands in order to get a bunch of Xenomite. Once I got enough, I made an energy station to charge up energy packs. What are energy packs? Well, basically... Oh my god. Energy packs are... I don't even know. I was pretty confused throughout the playthrough about these 2. You can use this energy station to charge up these energy packs, and some weapons and accessories use the packs to function, I think. More importantly though, I farmed the solar eclipse enemies and got nothing. Also by this point, I had already gone 4 life fruits from the container, so this was great. After beating the Slayer again to get more platings, I crafted a new weapon called the Slayer's Rocket Fist. And at first this was kind of basic, but you can charge it and then bonk into enemies. Man, why are all the Slayer weapons so saucy? I also made an extra ranger helmet for the hard light armor because I wee white using the pistols. My big juice. Now, it's time. We can finally go explore the abandoned lab. At the entrance, I found this gate blocking me. I couldn't break it. Or actually, I couldn't break anything in here. However, I was able to finagle my way into the ceilings, and by going through the air vents, I could now access the lab. In there, I found this guy called the janitor, who just started attacking me. Oh shit, we're just jumping straight into it. Why isn't he taking any damage? I think I have to break his guard. He was hopping around the room and was throwing mops at me. I couldn't really damage him until I broke his guard. And then, well, I just started melting him. Yeah, well now he's, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Kind of feel bad about this. Beating the janitor caused him to chuck a lab access card at me and told me to get lost. Where's he going? Oh, can I enter? Guess not.
In the lab, I just kept exploring and found xenomite shards everywhere. Some crafting stations which I broke to take home with me, as well as these chests which I can open. And I also found some chests which I could open. I got a lot of weapons from those. The only important ones I got though were the self-sufficient lightning rod, which charges up and shoots a bolt of electricity that arcs and hits enemies, and the gravity hammer, which you can slam down and create a very oogity boogity wave across the ground. I also got a new shield called the hollow shield, which makes it so you can dash into projectiles and reflect them, as long as they deal less than 200 damage. Finally, I found these floppy disks which I could give to Adam, and he could decode these and let me know some very interesting succulent lore. Then, when I was exploring the lab, it came out. The wall of piss!
What the hell is that thing? Oh my god. Oh my god, it does so much damage. Oh, yeah, it's over. It's over. Can't even dodge telegraphed attacks, man.
Attempt 2, I used my chakram instead of going head first and just constantly ramming into it. And well, I just paid attention to the attack patterns, kept my distance, and utterly, unequivocally dismantled it. Beating the irritated behemoth caused this person to reach out to me. They sent me a drone which dropped me an Omega transmitter, a boss spawner which I can't use until I beat Plantera. I was also able to now unlock a new sector of the lab. I didn't find much there, other than this Jolly Rancher ass xenomite deposit. I couldn't mind it, but I could get intense radiation poisoning from it.
Oh, I hate this shit. I keep forgetting to equip my suit. Yeah, it's over. I want to kill someone.
At home, I used the life fruits to get my health up to 8 total hearts, without even needing to step foot into the jungle. Then I headed to the jungle and set up a quick pylon system. I also quite quickly found the Plantera bulb, but left it for now because I wanted to max out my life. I spent a while looking for life fruits. And would you believe me if I said that I didn't find all of them? Well, you shouldn't, because I did. Technically, I didn't get all of them. Unless you believe I cheated, and that didn't count towards me getting all the life fruits. And if you do think that, well, I'll revoke your Sigma license. I then crafted 4 city busters. Oh, you don't know what city busters are? Well, essentially, big bomb, go boom. Easy arena. Or it would have been if I had some skills. Once I got the arena set up, I spawned in Plantera. And I used the ancient Terrarian technique passed on through generations and mastered after thousands of hours in this game of just going around in circles to turn Plantera into a smoothie. So with Plantera taken down, we can now use the Omega transmitter.
Is that the boss? I feel like something's gonna happen. Oh yeah, there we go. Just a big ass sword. Oh shit. Damn, which one do I target? Probably the robot, right? Because it's the one controlling it. Holy shit, it does so much damage. That should ruin me, bro. I didn't stand a chance. I landed one hit.
So the Omega Cleaver is, well, it's a boss who's quite hard. I headed on over to the dungeon and set up a quick pylon because it was time to farm for ectoplasm. I went through all that suffering so I could make a dust song, Bond of Twilight, a spell song, Core of the West, and a Midnight, Defiler of the Prince. And these weapons were cool, but to be completely honest, I didn't really use these too much, so I'm not really gonna explain them. Look away, everyone, because now I'm about to commit a sin. That's right, I'm gonna fish. Why might I be willingly torturing myself by fishing? Well, I did all that so I could get 2 enchanted sundials, or more specifically 2 titanium crates, because I can turn these into sundials thanks to quality of life mods. And I made 2 sundials because I wanted to turn one of them into a moondial. Why a sundial and a moondial? Because I wanted a portable sundial. Also, I can give you a seizure. With this item added by Fargo's Mutant mod, I can instantly change the time. And I needed this because you can only fight the Omega Cleaver when it's nighttime.
Alright boys, I see the patterns now. I understand it. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Oh, where did that come from?
Throughout my attempts, I realized that my damage wasn't quite good, but I could make it good if I used the Slayer's Rocket Fist. However, the problem with that is, it requires me to get super close up to the boss, which is a problem because I died in pretty much 3 hits. But still, I ain't no loser. I really wanted those style points so I can fulfill my ego, and I kept at it. Until... From the cleaver, I got a new material called Corrupted Xenomite, a mechanical sheath accessory that makes it so when you use true melee, there's a chance for a phantom cleaver to spawn over enemies. And it also increases true melee damage by 25%. This accessory works better with some weapons than others. And finally, I got this classless weapon called the Cleaver Remote, which is quite cognitively disarrayed, to say the least. Because when used, it summons a huge Mega Cleaver over your head that doesn't attack, but it doesn't just do the swing attack. You see, you can cycle through the attack modes by right-clicking. There's a swing, a stab where it flies towards your cursor, a sword burst which creates a lot of cleavers and throws them at your cursor. And finally, the red prism mode, in which it fires a laser in a circle. After each use, you have a 15-second cooldown, which in my opinion definitely needs to be increased, and you'll see why. The person or creature or entity, I don't know, reached out to us again and blabbered on a bit about how the robot was a disappointment, but the results will prove useful later on. Sure, keep telling yourself that, champ. Using the corrupted xenomite, I made a tiny cleaver and a pulse blade. The tiny cleaver does, man, if that's tiny, then we're all doomed. It is a 4-swing combo, with the final swing doing 50% more damage. And the pulse blade was sick. Look at this. You charge it up and shoot a huge wave, which by itself doesn't do any damage. I didn't realize this, but you can right click and shoot out these electro balls, which just kind of hovered there until you hit it with a slash. Because I really wanted to use this weapon, I fully switched over to mage. I made a new helmet, which changed my set bonus to giving me infinite mana for 10 seconds, and I also bought and made a bunch of accessories. With that, we head on over to the jungle temple, and for the first time in my 10 years of playing this game, I made it to the altar without dying. Never mind, after reaching the altar, I spawned in the most pathetic boss in the game, Golem. And instantly, I realized that the pulse blade wasn't doing any damage, unless I used my balls. I don't know how I didn't notice this sooner, even though it clearly mentions it in the description. So now I had to switch up my strategy. I used the cleaver remote, which did some damage, so I switched to melee. And the best weapon I found was the gravity hammer. However, recklessness was causing me to get hit a lot. The tempt was going pretty bad, but I refused to lose to Golem. But we can't always get what we want. That's right. I'm a pathetic loser who lost to Golem. But attempt 2 was going great. Some might say I was eating. Slaying, maybe. Yeah, I deserved that. But then on attempt 3, I used the cleaver remote again. God damn that damage! And yeah, that damage was insane. So I used it again.
Bro, this is actually nuts.
And again.
I know it's Golem, but like still, 3 hits or 3 shots is all it took. Just when I thought he couldn't get any more pathetic.
Using the beetle husks, I could make 2 new weapons. The rock slide meant you charge up rocks, which you can shoot out. And the divinity was the same, but instead of rocks, you create a whole ass sun. This weapon will be really important for the rest of the playthrough. Then I headed over to hell to farm demons, because they have a super low chance to drop a weapon I wanted. And after an incredibly, and I mean incredibly long and very painful time, I was finally able to get the Sword of the Forgotten, which just makes you spin around and deal damage. But we can upgrade this. I bought Ophus's Lost Notes from Danny and talked to the Fallen, who combined the 2 items for me and made me an Ophus's Forgotten Greatsword. Now, it let out sparks of ember as well as a vortex of fire around you. And to be honest, the damage was good, but this wasn't quite my style. Once again, all that time I spent farming wasn't really worth it. Let's go try it out against Golem though. That's how we're definitively gonna know if this is even good. But before I tried the sword, I used the divinity. And oh my god! That was insane.
Guys, I might have found a strat. I think I found the stat that, oh, that was so satisfying. That's so cool.
From Golem, I got a pixel. Using the beetle husks, I made beetle armor and went to the abandoned lab to see if I could now mine the uranium. And yes, I could. At home, I had to deal with the pirate invasion, and like every other thing in this godforsaken playthrough, I got some boo-boos. After taking out the pirates in record time, we go over to the spaceship and give the Slayer uranium. Rude ass piece of shit. Well, now he wanted me to craft him a wiring kit, so I did that.
Oh, it fixes the ship. To borrow it and ended up yeet. I'm gonna.
Next up, he wanted a ship hull plating. Now for the next item, he wanted an AFTL engine, which required a post-Moonlord item called plutonium. So we'll return to this after Moonlord. With that, we can move on to the final Hardmode Mod of Redemption boss. I right-clicked while holding the Omega transmitter to switch it to the second Omega prototype, and used it to spawn this guy again. Ah. The Omega Gigapora is a big worm drill boss, who you can't really damage because it has a shield around it, and to get rid of the shield you have to take out this drill core drone, which causes the shield to dissipate, and then you can start dealing damage to it. After a while it re-engages its shields and spawns 2 drones, so you have to keep repeating the cycle until you take it down.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, it's charging up a laser.
Oh shit, my camera's messed up! That killed me! My camera was messed up!
I came here to kick gum and chew ass.
I get it!
Oh shit, I spawned the wrong one. I can't believe I just lost there. Oh, he's doing the thing again. He's doing the thing again. I dodged it. I dodged it. Let's go. Fool me once, shame on me, or something like that. Fool me twice, whatever.
He's doing it again!
Oh my god, where am I? Oh, there we go, dodged it.
A third, bro! He's spamming, that's not fair! That's not fair. That was actually insane. I was running out of space in the arena, so I expanded it a bit before trying more attempts. Did that help though? Yes, it actually did. That it? Gigapora, more like Giganomora. You guys can unsubscribe now. The person started blabbering again and said that the next time it'll be one of his own machines who I fight. Who cares? Because it's time for upgrades. I got a new material called Omega Power Cell. Using that, I made a Giga Paley contactor and an oversized screwdriver. The Giga Paley contactor shot a barrage of lasers, and when you right-clicked, it created a drone, which you can shoot, and it reflects your lasers to the nearest enemy. The screwdriver is weird because it propels you towards the enemy you're hitting and also gives you some immunity frames, which you can easily exploit, as you'll see in a second. You can also turn the Dan into a corrupted Dan, and it now uses rockets. I didn't really use this because of my classes, but I wish I did. And finally, I got an accessory that creates a drone that reflects projectiles, but it didn't work for me. I just couldn't get the drone to spawn. Now, since there's only 4 vanilla bosses left, I'm gonna try going through these as quick as I can. I went to the mushroom biome to find a truffle worm to fight the Duke, because I wanted Duke wings. And I figured out that you can use the screwdriver to kind of tease the Duke, because the immunity frames make it so that the Duke just doesn't do damage to you. It just... it does no damage, I just go through it. Holy shit. Oh yeah, it's over. It's over. There we go. I wonder if I can tease the Devourer of Gods with this. So yeah, that was kind of insane. I remember when I was a kid, I used to create a whole asphalt arena, get vampire knives, and follow a whole worksheet with notes on how to beat this boss. Now look at him. By him, I mean myself. Pathetic. I did eventually end up farming it for a bit and got fish round wings. Next up is the Empress. I head on over to the Halo and start hunting for lace wings. I should mention that this is where the lobotomy texture pack was supposed to go, the one that was making Erhan do all that screaming. But I turned it off because I didn't want it to mess up any of the other bosses that might use the same sounds, and I forgot to turn it back on. But anyways, this fight was going okay. However, I accidentally wandered a bit too far to the left and spawned this guy. Where did you come from? Oh my god. No. No. After that, I just kept struggling with the Empress. Even though the Empress didn't drop anything I wanted, this was a matter of honor. So after an absurd amount of losses, I went and got a bunch of chlorophyte. So I could make Spectre bars, so I could make Spectre armor. I also made some new accessories, blew up my house on accident, and then while I waited for night, I decided to try an attempt on the cultist. You already know what time it is. But I blow this bastard to smithereens. Damage is pretty good. Wait, what the hell? Oh! Was I not charging it to max the whole time? I wasn't charging it! And, I
understand it now.
So, in the next attempt, yeah. This is actually insane. I'm not... Oh, I just two-shot him. You can see his body right there. Holy shit. Divinity was slightly broken. I first dealt with the Star Displer because it was taking up my arena. And then it was time to, get my revenge. This is quite possibly my favorite weapon in all of Terraria. The damage, the aura, the sheer power. No wonder Frieza was going around blowing up planets. This shit was satisfying. With the Empress taken down, we just had the other 3 pillars left. And now I could tell you all about the strats and stuff I used and what I learned through my experiences. But I know you guys aren't gonna listen to that. You guys just want to see me suffer. So here's a quick death montage. Before Moonlord spawned, I quickly made some mage weapons, wasted my solar fragments making 2 daybreaks, and then primed up a flaming sun. You already know I got no honor. I'ma blast his ass as soon as he spawns. I was struggling, so I decided to get a couple of upgrades. I headed on over to the dungeon so I could farm the enemies and get myself the ingredients needed for the Master Ninja gear. I had to go through all the pillars again because I didn't have enough fragments. Sometimes I just wonder if this is really all worth it. The main issue I was having with Moonlord was flight time. And well, I could have gotten a soaring insignia. Actually, I already had one. But I completely forgot that even existed. So my strat was to just go around in circles while I charge up my thingy. And make sure I take a quick breather every now and then.
That was something. I had lock in there. That was actually really easy. That was. Oh my god! Why was that so easy? Holy shit!
We only have 4 bosses left in the mod, and all of them are quite insane. Also some cool ass mini bosses. We start off host Moonlord with the person reaching out to us again. They sent us a drone which dropped a keycard, and I was told that I can now access the lower sections of their base of operations, the lab. They also said they were eagerly anticipating my next trial and left. This robot also pulled up with a message from Kingslayer. He said that he's gonna leave the planet soon, so if I have any business with him, I should get to it now. That's cool and all, but more importantly, I now had Luminite. So, upgrade time. I combined the Luminite with Xenomite shards to make raw Xenium, which I used to combine all my radiation equipment into one ATV set. I upgraded my Sun Shard staff into an Empyrean Blind, made myself a Luminite pickaxe, and finally made a Plutonium bomb. The Empyrean Blind created these stars which would shoot lasers at enemies and also gave them the incandescence debuff. The Plutonium bomb drops from the sky and turns a small area into plutonium, which I could now mine. I forgot to wear my suit though, so I got a bad case of radiation. That sucks. Now with the plutonium, I made a magic weapon and also the ATFL engine. The P2 Warhead receiver summons plutonium bombs at my cursor. I then went to the ship to give the Slayer the engine, and he thanked me for the first time and also told me that he doesn't need any more help from me. I could now access all his data logs and educated myself on the lore. He also gave me a memory chip. It doesn't really serve a purpose as of right now, but it probably will be important in one of the next updates. I then tried beating Moonlord again to get more Luminite, so I could make Nebula armor, because magic at this point was cooler than melee, not gonna lie. And here I realized that I had a mechanical shield equipped the whole time, so this entire time I was losing out on extra damage. In case you're wondering, this is how much damage I did with one hit of the divinity now. I bought Daryl's Darksteel Bow from Daryl, then shimmered it and got a Mithril's Bane, which is just technically an upgrade to Zephos' Sword Slicer. I beat Moonlord again, so I can make a backup solar flare armor. I also tried making a Zenith, but they changed the recipe to needing a material dropped by the current final boss. Now we go back to the lab, because using the keycard I got, I could open the chests down there, and from those I got some weapons and an anti-mutant gen. Following the chests, I ended up reaching this area that was blocked by these lasers.
No. Oh my.
The 2 important weapons I got from the lab were a Tesla coil, which just arcs between enemies, and an automated hacksaw that has 3 attack modes. In the first one, it just spins around you. In the second, you can charge it up and make it shoot a heat wave. And finally, the third one is just a true melee weapon, with each hit increasing the damage by 4%, up to a maximum of 500%. I then farmed Golem to get an Eye of the Golem, and also the Wall of Flesh to get an emblem. And with those, I made a Destroyer emblem, because by using that, I can combine it with the empty mutagen to create class-specific mutagens, which increase your damage by 15% and critical strike chance by 10%. With this, I headed back down into the abandoned lab and actually crossed the lasers, where I found this creature.
That has to be a boss fight. Wait, I have an idea. We're gonna switch over to Mage, and then we're just gonna... There we go, charged up. Yup, I was right. This is a boss fight. Blister face. We're gonna wait for him to come. There we go. Oh my god. Well, time to wrap this up, I guess. Holy shit. I am scum. I am scum.
So that was a boss called Blisterface, and yeah, I'm not gonna apologize for that, because 999 times out of 1,000, I do the same thing. It dropped me another lab access panel. Sigma? That's like me! So now I could access another area of the lab, and also I got a special keycard, which I can use to unlock special laboratory crates. From that, I got a nano pickaxe, which I could use to break these black sludges that have been blocking me this whole time. With that, I reached this area and got a Xenium smelter crafting station. Breaking more sludges, I reached this place, and once again, I knew that this was gonna be a boss fight, and I could see him just chilling in the corner of the room.
Wait, he's not a boss. You aren't supposed to be here. Oh shit, never mind. He's... Yeah, there we go. Protector of World. Goddamn.
I loved this guy because his entire moveset reminded me of a boss from one of my favorite childhood games. Now, I could use the divinity again, but I didn't want to because, well, I was feeling kind of scummy. So I fought him with my weakest weapon. Once I got close to beating him though, he stopped the fight and somehow realized that this whole thing was a misunderstanding. He dropped another lab access panel, which lets me proceed onwards.
Alright, watch this, boys. Skills writer. Ooh, up, down. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. That's another boss. Mace Project.
I didn't want to fight that guy yet, so I returned home to make some more upgrades, because with the Xenium Smelter I could make molten scraps and combine those with raw Xenium to make Xenium Alloy, using which I made a new armor as well as some weapons. The Xenium armor set made it so that I could double tap down and enter cannon mode, which disables all my weapons and makes it so I shoot grenades. I don't think I ever used this though. The Xenium Lance is a spear, which does a combo and electrifies enemies. You can also right click to do a dash, and if you hit an enemy you get immunity frames and can also use it again. Otherwise it takes about 20 seconds before you can dash again. The Xenium Staff created these bubbles which you can shoot and make them explode. So now with the upgrades acquired, I was now confident that I could take down the Mace Project.
There we go. Oh, that was cool. This guy looks cool.
So this guy is just tethered to the ceiling and attacks by moving the head around, which you can see being operated by this baddie.
Alright, barely do any damage. But this boss is so cool, man. This shit is... I'm actually in love with this boss fight. This is fun. Okay, so the lance does a lot of damage.
I got his health down to 0 and well, I just knocked the poor guy's jaw off, which started its second phase and made it much more aggressive, but even though it was super aggressive now, it also took a lot of damage.
Oh, I gotta lock in here, man. This shit is... Holy shit, how do I dodge that? Oh yeah, there...
This fight is quite hard, which is why I decided that it was now time to fight the third Omega prototype.
Omega Obliter, yo. Oh my god, oh! That... What the...
Alright, man, that was actually pretty fair. The next time, I dodged it.
This is... there we go, yo again. Just go around him. Can't fool you twice, huh?
And this guy got a call from Juris, who I think is the guy who's been talking to us this whole time. And he basically got told that he yaps too much, and his entire personality is about to get erased. Well, anyways, now we can actually start the fight. The Obliterator mainly attacks using plasma projectiles while occasionally shooting lasers and dashing at you. My weapon of choice was the hacksaw, because I wanted to keep my distance, but that didn't work out too great. So I switched to a magic build and tried out all my magic weapons. Which once again wasn't working too great. That is until, well, I got curious. I just wanted to see if the divinity works.
Alright, this is only for testing purposes. This attempt will not count. Unless I beat it, then it'll count. So far our tests were going pretty good. I'd say the divinity works pretty well. There we go, almost done with the boss fight. I'm stuck.
And it's safe to say that it did. So he started overclocking and entered his desperation phase.
Alright, final desperation phase, let's go. Oh my god, that hit me. That hurt so bad. Holy shit. Okay. We got it. We're good. Just stay away from him. There we go. All done. That was actually pretty easy.
Which was quite easy, not gonna lie. Hey, don't hate the game, hate the player.
Oh my god, it's that guy again. Does this guy ever stop yapping? God damn.
He said the next test will be a collaboration between him and a mutual of ours, which according to my very limited knowledge of the mod, I'm assuming is either gonna be Adam or Kingslayer, and the plot twist will be if you help Kingslayer with the ship, he's gonna help you or something like that. But more importantly, I now had the Obliterator Brain, a material which I can use for even more weapons. Yippee! Now in order to prove that I can beat the Obliterator with my own skills, I fought him again and lost. The best weapon for damage was the hacksaw, so this was gonna be my key to victory.
God damn it, I keep dying to this attack and I just start dead. Oh. Trash! Trash! You're trash!
From the treasure bag, I got the melee weapon, so now I just had to craft the mage weapon, the Omega finger gun. Using my remaining materials, I made an Omega Twilight, for obvious reasons. The Sun and Palm was a melee weapon. Yeah, I know it looks like it's gonna be a big ball that you charge up and shoot out, but this is actually a melee weapon that explodes after you charge it up. It erases weaker projectiles and also supposedly does damage to when it explodes, but I never took any damage. The Omega finger gun was just a magic weapon that got faster as you used it. Now we can head back to the lab and beat the maze project with our superior weapons. While the weapons weren't that great, my favorite weapon was still the hacksaw. Other than divinity, of course.
Oh man, the baddie disappeared. God damn it. Well, anyways, I didn't get anything. It didn't drop me anything.
From the maze project, I got the final lab access panel, panel 0. So now I could enter the final room and meet patient 0. But first I looked around the room and got a first aid kit, which is a one-time use heal that isn't affected by potion sickness. I decided to save this until I really needed it. I also saw this black chest that was blocked by 5 doors. And then I was ready. I heard the patient 0 to start the boss fight.
Oh, it's another stationary boss. Wait, I have an idea. What if I just get close and use the Sun and Palm? Yeah, it erases the projectiles. My damage is kind of really bad though.
Patient 0 mainly attacks from its eye. It shoots out lasers, fireballs, and tears. It kept using different variations of its attacks until I got its health down to 75% and Carrie Johansson popped out. She has her own set of attacks as well as a separate health bar. When you get her health down to 75%, it switches back to Patient 0.
Am I tripping or is this shit getting harder, man? Oh my god, now it's starting to... What is this shit? Alright, it's actually getting pretty hard now.
Until it gets down to 50%, where it goes back to Carrie, and she does this.
Huh? Did I just get pissed off?
Yeah, that's cool.
Alright, I keep running out of flight time. This is hard. What's it doing now? Is it using goddamn echolocation? Oh, safe spot. Alright, there we go. Thank god. Oh, is it gonna evaporate me again? Oh shit, that almost hit me. There was no tell on that. That was actually really dangerous. Oh, I'm one shot. It's so over.
Other than the divinity, the best weapon I found was the lance because of its damage, but it's also pretty risky since getting close made it extremely easy to get hit. So now it was just a matter of skill issue. I did still make some changes like lighting up my arena to help me see better, but did that help? Well, actually kind of, not really. I was starting to get its health consistently low, which is why after a lot of attempts I switched my approach by going mage and using the Omega finger gun. Even though the damage wasn't too high, it was consistent, and I could easily keep my distance, which is why now that I knew all the attacks, I was doing great. I would have liked this boss fight a whole lot more if I wasn't dying in 2 hits. Only 2 bosses left. From patient 0, I got an accessory called Heart of Infection, which increases my poison damage and creates a life draining force to steal life from debuffed enemies, and the Master Lab access, which opened these doors and let me access the chest locked behind them. From the chest, I got a lot of weapons. The Infectious Gauntlet, which I can charge and use to ram into enemies, and the Mitosis, which makes you throw petri dishes that spawn 2 bacteria that split into 4, then 16. Each bacteria deals poison damage and gives the bacterial infection debuff. The damage was honestly quite insane. With that, I decrypted the floppy disk and got some more lore. lore, lore, lore. I love lore. With that, we can move on to the next boss. The Eagle Crest Golem again. It's set for the rematch. I need to place the eye of the golem and encase it with the stones of its origins. I didn't really know what that was, so I tried asking for advice, and Dogroll told me to ask the Fallen, who said a lot, yet also nothing. It did say stones, so it got me thinking. Stones of origin. Stones. Origin. Gathic structures. Gathic stones. So I bought a lot of ancient dirt and placed it around the eye. Because that didn't work, I tried Gathic stones, and that made something happen. I got an ancient sigil, which I used to spawn in the Eagle Crest Golem.
Oh, there he is. Oh my god. Okay,
The Eagle Crest Golem now was just bouncing around and flying at me. But then, when I got it down to half health, it started cracking and releasing lightning.
Oh, cutscenes. Phase 2? It's breaking. Is it?
A storm is brewing, and nature trembles. The god's wrath is upon you. In case you didn't quite understand what just happened, well, the Eagle Crest Golem released Ukko, the Thunder God, who attacks using lightning and by speeding around the whole place in his quite zesty chariot, and then reappeared with Akka, the nature deity, who poisons you, shoots beams at you, and also throws islands at you. So yeah, this fight was extremely cool. From the duo, I got a Vasara pendant that lets me take and store damage and then release it for 5 seconds, and the poem of Ilmatar, which creates a huge ass tornado that follows your cursor. I then fought the deities again, this time using the divinity, because I can. And once again, another divinity victim. I got the weapon I was looking for, the Ukon Vasara. This is another cool ass weapon that has different modes you can cycle through. The first is the swing mode, in which you just swing the sword, but you can throw it and then also teleport to it. The next mode is the hammer mode, which turns the Ukon Vasara into a hammer. Now when you hit enemies, the hammer creates lightning that arcs between enemies before slamming into one. The final mode is the axe mode, in which you just spin the weapon around you, and when you release it, you launch yourself towards the cursor. And if you press down while getting launched, you get a whole ass superhero landing. Now, we only have the final boss left. We go to the sky to find Star Serpent, so we can get galaxy stars. Once I got enough, I returned home and made the spawner. Or at least I would have if I had hallowed bars. I made the galaxy stone and summoned in the Angel of the Cosmos, Nebulous.
Ah, you have brought me here yourself. Forget my the presence is about whatever. You guys just read that shit. Alright, final boss time. Let's go, let's go.
From attempt 1, I learned that my damage was insane. So this boss probably won't take much longer to beat, right? My damage might have been good, but my skills weren't. You know what the fix to that is? Just keep at it.
Was that the final boss? That was kind of underwhelming. Oh, so he can see us progressing through the game and being like resetting the time and whatever. That's pretty cool. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Look at him running away.
Wow, for a final boss, well, that was anticlimactic. From Nebulous, I got a letter that tells me the things that I missed in this playthrough. And what's this? Oh no, no way. No way. I didn't befriend a being of nature. No. Oh yeah, I also didn't find Nebulous's true form, which you can only find in the bad route. Well, I guess it's time to commit some atrocities. But before we do that, let's make some new equipment. I used the Galaxy Heart to increase my maximum life by 50. Then I used the Fragment of Virtue Nebulous drop to upgrade a lot of my weapons into endgame variants. The Piercing Nebula and the Constellation that did this. Now, because I was a good boy this entire playthrough, my alignment was 6 right now. In order to fight Nebulous, I need to get my alignment down to -1. So I tried doing things that would reduce my alignment, but after doing a couple, I realized that getting my alignment to 0 was just impossible. At least in this world. So I created a new world, grabbed the chalice, spawned in Erhan, and obliterated him. Next up was the Keeper.
Just gonna spam bacteria on her. Holy shit, she didn't even get to attack.
With the Sword for Lessons acquired, I went hunting for the Skull Digger. Then we beat Skeletron so that Calavia can now spawn. We then move on to Kingslayer.
Alright, last phase. I haven't seen this one before. Oh, he's using the drones to recharge himself. Alright, this is kind of unfair. He's red now, but that doesn't really mean anything to us because we're gonna destroy his ass. Congratulations, you beat me. Have a medal, stupid dumb idiot.
And finally, the hardest enemy of all, the Tree Bark Dryad.
No!
With that, it's time for the true final boss.
Time to pull out my trap card. Does that divinity not work? It doesn't work.
Because my trump card didn't work, I had to use actual skills in order to beat Nebulous to unleash Nebulous's true form.
If you don't wish to fight me now, I'll leave you be. I mean, we made it this far. Why back down now? You've had thy chance at redemption.
He said the thing!
Oh wow, he just took his hood off.
I don't know if they made it this way, but after reaching the second phase, the first phase became insanely easy, and I was able to consistently get it down to its second phase. But that second phase was a huge problem. After a lot of failures, I decided to try to switch my strategy. By that I mean I decided to craft the Zenith. Because I hadn't really been crafting vanilla weapons, I had to farm for each and every weapon before I was able to craft it. The Zenith was amazing, since it lets you deal damage up close and far away. Not only was the damage consistent, but it was also good. So now, I had no excuse. I had to be this boss.
Another day, another victory for the OG. That was all I had, and yet I still lost. That's just how it be, little bro. Fighting you and that traitor have confirmed my suspicions. I'm weak. I don't deserve being part of their group. I was only a burden. Do I care? No. If the demigod ever comes for you, don't let him know I'm still alive. I fear what he might think of me, and I don't want to face him. I really am I don't know what any of that meant, but we're done with the mod, baby. Let's go!
And that's the Mod of Redemption done. It's a pretty cool mod that has a lot of stuff being built up, but as of right now, I'd give my experience playing this mod a 6.5 out of 10. Why I scored that low? Because I streamed it, and that made me get lost on the mechanics, and I found myself super confused most of the time. But like I've been saying, this was my second time playing this mod, and in my first attempt, I actually had a great experience. Oh yeah, also Master Mode, which I definitely haven't mentioned like 1,000 times in this video. So yeah, this one's kind of on me. But for the mod itself, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. It definitely deserves a higher score, but the mod isn't complete yet, and it really shows. For example, the progression feels weird sometimes, and also the alignment isn't really being used for much as of right now. I'm also not really a fan of all the yapping the bosses do. My mental capacity is the same as a toddler's. I can only hold so much information before it short circuits. But for all the stuff that has been implemented as of right now, it was actually insanely polished. So I will give them heavy props on that. They really take their time on every aspect of this mod and it shows. The post-Moonlord section I'd say was my favorite since it felt the most unique and full of content. But still, this mod has so much potential and also a lot of love put into it. And I definitely think once the full mod comes out, it's gonna be cemented as a must-play for modded fans. And I can't wait to see what that would look like. And that's about it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget the plushies linked in the description. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.